Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
All right, it's 11:01. Welcome to the Lock Shop, brought to you by Play Alberta. In fact, all of Edmonton Sports Talk is brought to you by our partners over at Play Alberta. Download the Play Alberta app today. Go to playalberta.ca. You can see our EST specials that are locked and loaded there every single day. Maverick 1979 over in YouTube says, "What happened to Santa?" I don't know what happened to Santa. Hey, nobody knows. I don't know what happened to Santa. He must have had to get back to the North Pole. Yep. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I can think of. Baptized Big Uke says, there isn't enough character limit for me to competently and completely express my feelings about how that went in terms of the commish. Hashtag commish out. I do have my list here in case we're going to talk draft today. I'll close this door here for a second. I do think Quinn was subpar today. Yeah. I thought she was a little bit subpar. Yeah.
You got to put your foot down.
I know everybody thinks, she apparently loves me and stuff, but sometimes you got to call a spade. And I thought she was like, for example, Owanek probably wouldn't have allowed the Sticky Bandits and the Wet Bandits to be selected. Yeah. I was waiting for her to call them that. I didn't want to be a guy who was all bitching about things. So I didn't bring it up. I knew Eric was going to go there at some point. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think she sort of dropped the ball today.
I think it's because she was saying herself, she doesn't know a lot of Christmas movies.
Right, so the knowledge isn't there. So unless we're going to call them on it.
So if we were going to call on it, then she doesn't have an opinion to go off of and go, no, like that's this and that's that.
Big Uke says she didn't know 85% of the selections.
Exactly.
I'm not making excuses. I thought I actually drafted a pretty strong group. But we'll see how the vote plays out. But I think if you're going to commish a Christmas draft, you should probably have a lot of knowledge of Christmas movies. I think she thought she was just going to prove the Ferris Bueller's Day Off pick.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly not a Christmas movie and not a Christmas name. So, I don't know. I don't want her to come in here and punch me in the face. But
she just walked by the door.
Did she just walk by the door?
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought she did a great job.
She was fantastic and looked stunning today.
She was outstanding. Casino, yeah. So I mean, it was a fun draft. I had a lot of fun. We'll see how it sorts itself out. Like Vera Montenegro says, the Star Wars special is a TV movie. Now, is that still technically a movie? Same with the Charlie Brown movie. Like Charlie Brown Christmas is a TV movie. Mm-hmm. I think they both sort of.
No one drafted Charlie Brown the movie. I only drafted Charlie Brown the character.
Oh, did nobody take Charlie Brown's Christmas special?
I don't think so.
Really?
No.
Oh, that was a pretty good one.
That was on my board. It was on my board,
yeah.
But I decided not to go there.
Anyway, another Christmas draft in the books. The vote will be up, I don't know, whenever Queen gets it to Maddie and Maddie throws it up on our socials. A lot of fun for sure. We've got some Oilers news, obviously. We'll get to that. Stuart Skinner is going to start for the I almost said Edmonton Oilers, but Stuart Skinner is going to start for the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. So we do get Skinner versus Jarry, a matchup that we were looking forward to. We will see how it sorts itself out. Should be pretty interesting, I think. I really don't want to be that guy, but I sort of think Stuart Skinner gets lit up tonight. I mean,
it would be interesting. Be very, very interesting.
Like, I'll be surprised if they don't score 4 goals on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just with the way it is. And now Hernan will be coming up on EST afternoons today from 1 until 3. I was just talking with Hernan over in the boardroom. And Hernan at least told me off the air that he thinks the Penguins are going to win tonight. They've lost 5 in a row. Desperate times for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
They're due.
Leon Draisaitl looking for 0.1000. Have to think he gets it tonight. That's why I put together an early bird bet. Oilers money line, McDavid with an assist, Draisaitl a goal, plus 300. So you can get it at 3-1 on our EST specials page over at playalberta.ca or on the Play Alberta app. And we've got that one play that remains up there every day. Will Trent Frederick score a goal? Play of the day at plus 540. So you've got that kicking around as well. We'll recap the Monday Nighter. We'll talk a lot of hockey today. Maybe take a look at some early lines in the National Football League as well. And lots to get to with the man, the myth, the legend, and a Christmas draft champion himself. Both Hus and I have won Christmas drafts in the past, so a couple of Christmas draft champions here on the Lock Shop today. Hus, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Not much, Dusty. How did it go today?
It was good. It was good. I thought it was relatively smooth. Little bit of controversy, not much. All in all, a pretty joyful Christmas draft. I think the commissioner has had better days, but all in all, I thought it was pretty well done.
I forgot that this was coming up, and then I saw this morning you guys were doing it, and I'm like, with the amount, let's think of Christmas. I mean, there's the beautiful parts of Christmas, then there's also the family infighting and the bickering and things that often happen around the holidays. Considering how much of that has happened within the EST family around these particular drafts, I thought there was potentially a powder keg possibility that things would go completely off the rails. But it's nice to see that you all maintained your Christmas cheer and made it happen. How are things looking right now?
Well, the vote hasn't been posted yet. If you finish with less than 18% of the vote now, you get relegated and you get kicked out of the next draft, and then other guys from the office can submit to a play-in draft to get into the next official draft. One of the drafts we were talking about, the next draft possibly, and we'll see where people think about this, but this came up before we started this draft today, a classic rock draft, where you're just drafting classic rock, like good classic rock, sing-along classic rock songs, maybe classic rock band, best to see live. I mean, there's lots of things you can do with a classic rock draft. And Reed Wilkins, who's a big fan of classic rock, would probably want to be involved in that one. He was in this one if he avoids relegation, which I think he probably will. So there might be a classic rock draft coming down the pipe, which could be a lot of fun. So, if you were at 18% or less on the combined Instagram and Twitter votes, then you will be relegated. So we'll see how that plays out. Hus, what'd you think of that? Go ahead.
I would just, it warms my heart talking about this because my lone win, and I think the lone ever out of market win in EST Nielson show draft history right here.
Yeah, you're right.
The groundbreaker. Another bit of history that we share together. So I'm happy I wasn't asked to go in it because it was somewhat of a 1 in a million shot. When I did win, considering I don't really watch movies, the research was extensive.
Yeah.
But just goes to show, follow your dreams, everyone. Anything is possible.
Duck Dad is asking me to define classic rock. Look, man, this would not be in my wheelhouse if we do a classic rock draft. Not a huge classic rock guy myself. I don't know how you define classic rock. These are all the things that we would have to discuss leading into a classic rock draft. I don't what would you classify classic rock as, Hus?
Okay, here's the thing. I would say, classic rock is the stuff from the 70s and 80s, but we're old now.
Is 90s rock, is Nirvana now viewed as classic rock?
Well, listen to these dinosaur rock stations out there. They're playing it. You know what I'm saying?
So I don't know.
Dare I say, Nickelback in some circles is probably classic rock.
Popular in the late 90s. Yeah, and you're right.
Definitely.
The younger guys in our office would be like, "Oh, Nickelback." I don't know if they'd say Nickelback's classic rock, but anything
I always thought that it was like the stuff that was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's 2025 right now, just about 2026. If the song came out in a 19 something, I think there's an argument for it. Now, the genre, if you will, of that classic rock that we would have thought of growing up. I
just Googled top rock songs of 1999, right? So that would be the cutoff if you're looking at the last 25 years. What I do like to see is it says featuring massive hits and the first song they listed is Creed's Higher. So that's nice to see. Big Creed guy myself. Followed by Korn's Freak on a Leash, Red Hot Chili Peppers Scar Tissue, Blink-182's All the Small Things, and Limp Bizkit's Nookie. Like I just don't view those songs as classic rock, right? Like that's weird to me. But I guess maybe it is now. It's 25 years ago. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we clarify that.
Well, I'll tell you what, listen, Limp Bizkit, like it wasn't even, it was like that rap rock hybrid that was all over the place.
Yeah.
I think something becomes somewhat classic just when it's past its due date or like, the thing. So
I think you would have to have separate categories for like newer classic rock, which would be like 90s stuff. You know, that type of thing? Like a category for like on the edge of classic rock in 2025, maybe.
Essentially, what you're going to be doing is breaking it down into time frames, genres, and then the people that will really judge whether it's classic or just rock will be the
people
voters
voting on it, right? Yeah, no, that's a good way. That's a good way to look at it, and I don't think there'd be a lot of 20-year-olds voting on it. So you might want to just draft the older stuff if that's where we go. But it'll have to be separated. Some sort of decades or something along those lines. All right, lots to get to today. Let's start. You know what? Let's do NHL slate first today because we got some stories here. Obviously, the Edmonton Oilers take on the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. Well, let's start with last night. Winnipeg looked like they had it, Hus, and then it slips away, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, there was some good and bad to take out of that game. Overall, they played, again, looked a lot more like the team that played Washington with Connor Hellebuck in net than what we'd seen before. But it's disappointing because it's a missed opportunity to get 2 points. They had the lead late in the third period. The goal, I don't know if you saw the tying goal, but, the Scheifele line was out there and he sort of just, instinctively had his stick out, one-handed on it, and the heater hit the stick and just perfectly deflected up and over Hellebuck in. So it was a little bit unfortunate. Logan Stanley scored again. He cannot be stopped. He
scored again? My God, what a year.
Again last year. Dude, he
was the whipping boy for a long time, right?
The most. And I know you guys have kind of move on and have a large quantity of guys that have really been taking heat in Edmonton over the last few years. Stanley has been the lightning rod for this team for a good 5 years. And he's having a career year. He's scored in back-to-back games now. He has 6 goals on the season. He's 4th on the team in goals. Like Velarde, Connor, and Scheifele all have 14, 15, 16 goals. And then it's Big Stan. And I will say this, and this is the perfect example of the difference between the people that are loud and on social media and excessively negative compared to the majority of the fans that are at the games every night.
Yeah.
There is nothing that is popping the crowd harder right now than these goals by Logan Stanley. Like, a couple games ago when he scored, there was an MVP chant. Now, again, it was done tongue-in-cheek. But anyways, that's been really good. Adam Lowry's looking a lot better right now. The Jonathan Taves thing is just, I don't know whether a break in and around the holidays will be good for him, but just sort of slid down the lineup. There's been nothing offensively in the last 15, 20 games. So that's unfortunate. That's a big reason. There was high hopes for him coming in to this season. So I don't know. We'll see what's happened. But listen, they're 500 right now through 32 games. There's 50 games left on the season. Let me ask you this. What do you think the wild card threshold is going to be in the West?
92?
Right.
92?
Like 92 sounds low to me.
It does sound low from previous years, but I don't know. I just feel like that might be the world we're living in. Well, no, like probably not, because what was last year? 97?
96.
96.
The Blues and Flames tied with 96 points. St. Louis got in because they had more wins.
Okay, but the two teams, who's in, like, what are the records of the wild card teams in the West right now? And I believe the Oilers.
Right now, it's the Oilers and the Sharks.
Yeah.
Oilers are games above 500, and the Sharks are 2 games above 500.
Okay, so the Sharks have 35 points in 33 games right now. So let's just see here, 35. So the Sharks are on pace for 87 points, and they're in a playoff spot right now. So, I mean, you're going to think there's going to be a couple of teams that emerge from that group and probably push a little bit higher, but I don't know, Huss, maybe it's 94. Maybe you can make the playoffs with 94 points this year.
Okay, let's say it's 95.
So just 95. So a little bit less than last year, but
so for the Jets to get 95 points,
okay, what do they got to go?
They need to be 13 games above 500 in their final 50 games. So that would be something along the lines of 30, 18, and 2? Would you say they have to be 12 games above 500? Games above 500. Yeah. 30, 17, and 3. And that's a pretty good clip.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a tall task right there, buddy. Like, I mean, but you can't sit here December 16th and be like, they're out of it. Can you? Like,
well, they're definitely not. I mean, they're definitely not. And again, you're thinking about catching. Like right now, they're 3 points out with 2 games in hand on Utah and a game in hand on the Sharks. Like, even if you don't worry about the Oilers and you're just thinking about those other teams for the second wild card spot, they're basically in a dead heat with the Blackhawks. I mean, 500. St. Louis is 3 games under. The Kraken are 500 right now. And then Nashville's -2, Calgary's -3, Vancouver's -5. But my point is, I guess, going back to last night, though, I mean, giving up any points right now for teams that have kind of played their way into these situations can be really damaging. And 1 point could be the difference. I mean, ask the Flames last year from being in and out. So it's a precarious situation. And the Jets have, I want to say, the 3rd hardest schedule the rest of the way. A lot of big boy teams in the second half of the year. So we'll see whether it's possible, but at least they've looked better in the last couple games. They've got Hellebuck back. He came back just as expected. So that was the story in the peg last night. As far as the rest of last night's action, big win for the Panthers. Kreider and Trouba got a nice little welcome back today, or in MSG last night. And man, how about the St. Louis Blues? Like, the Jets are in St. Louis tomorrow night. We're doing our holiday watch party. Everyone's getting together to watch the game down at
that'll be fun.
Kennington. It will be fun. First matchup of the year since the 7-game playoff series. Both teams have been very disappointing to begin the year. Jets coming off a real missed opportunity in Ottawa, but the Blues have gotten pumped by the Preds twice in the past week. 7-2 on the road, 5-2 at home last night. So that'll be an interesting game, and that feels like a must-have, like a must-win, can't lose, all of the above. Got to get the 2 points, because then it's Colorado on Friday, and then Utah on Sunday before the break.
What do you think of Buffalo deciding to blow out Adams, give the job to Kekalainen full-time here?
I would say that this is overdue. I mean, it was Kevin in accounting, and he was the GM for the last 5 years. And I mean, listen, I think he was sort of a puppet of Pegula. It was when they made the first move and they put him in, people are like, Kevin Adams? Like, he hasn't really even been in the hockey operations department.
Yeah, he was on the business side, right?
Yeah, I mean, a former player on the business side. I mean, what's he doing? I think he was running like the rink or something like that. Now he's the GM of an NHL team. I mean, it was a poor idea in the first place. Obviously, we know what the results are, the exact same. You know, the Sabres haven't been in the playoffs since the Jets came back to the NHL.
Yeah, the longest playoff drought, I think, in professional sports.
That could be, yeah.
Or Wyshynski today said it might be the New York Jets. But didn't Sanchez quarterback a playoff? How long ago was that? Sanchez was in the playoffs.
I mean, they went to back-to-back AFC championship
Yeah.
games, but
How long?
that might have been in the late aughts.
Longest playoff drought. So here we are. Let's see. Longest droughts. Jets are 14 seasons, 2010. Sabres are 2011. So, yeah. It's close. Followed by the Angels and then the Charlotte Hornets in their respective leagues, in case you were wondering. So we'll see what happens. We were talking to, I don't know if maybe it was both Button and Wyshynski. They said probably, new general manager take over. Decision to be made on the coach here at some point this year or at the end of the year. And I would think they probably try something different in Buffalo if the ownership will allow it. But Sabres fans are pretty damn passionate. It sucks. I mean, I can't imagine. The Oilers had their decade of darkness, but going almost 15 years without a trip to the playoffs is that's awful. That sucks.
I know. I heard Mike Harrington on a show this morning and said that Kekalainen's coming in there, and the number one thing that they have to do is find a way to keep Alex Tuck. And you might have to overpay him.
Okay.
I mean, he's a local guy. He grew up, like, there's pictures of him as a 5 and 6 year old with the Sabres thing. I mean, it's one thing, and yeah, it's hard to get guys to go to Buffalo, but if you can't keep a guy that is from there, that wanted to play there, the optics of it will be so bad.
Really good player
guys,
too. Yeah.
Paige Thompson, the Rasmus Dahlin and all that. So I think that's the key. And again, they might have to overpay him, but
he's the guy who everybody thinks Edmonton's going to get their hands on. We're all sort of like, oh, Tuck will be coming to Edmonton. Tuck will be coming to Edmonton.
Okay, just serious question. What do you guys have to trade to get Alex Tuck?
Well, is he not a free agent at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's, I think, what they're looking at as an unrestricted free agent. Connor McDavid puts in the call and is like, come play with me in Edmonton.
Oh, UFA in the summer.
Yeah, UFA in the summer.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
I mean, in a perfect world, in a perfect world, yeah, you try to get him before the deadline. You have a great, I mean, I don't know, a first rounder in 2027 if he says, for sure, I'm not going to stay in Buffalo, and then you add something else. But to me, the discussion here in Edmonton has always been, in the offseason, he would be one of the guys that would probably be pretty high on the list to bring in here with the cap going up and stuff like that.
What's the Oilers draft pick situation for the next 2 years?
Not good, buddy. Here, I got the draft picks right here. So they have this year they've got their second and their third, and their sixth and their seventh, 6, 7. And then 27, they've got their first rounder and their second rounder, and not their third, fourth, or fifth. They traded away a second in 2029 in the Tristan Jarry deal. In 2028, they've got their first, their second, and 2/3. So they're missing, handful of picks over the next couple of years. The 2027 first round pick would be probably what is would be coveted from teams at the deadline for somebody this deadline, at least in the spring.
Yeah, I mean, a guy like Tuck, I mean, especially when you consider everybody else that's already signed long term.
Yeah.
If Buffalo actually does trade him, there will be 10 teams trying to get him. And the price for Tuck will be like a first round. Like, it won't be Quinn Hughes, obviously.
No.
But it'll be that pick, and it'll be that prospect, and it'll probably be a player just nowhere near a Boyum or Marco Rossi level.
And he's got a modified no trade clause. It's just 5 teams. So most of the league would be open for the Sabres to wheel and deal with Tuck if they were going to do something before the deadline. So
yeah, but I think that they don't want to go down that road. I mean, as much as they'd like to, we can get this asset or something like that, for the stability of that group moving forward, he, to me, is the key, is the linchpin. And part of it is going to be playing some better hockey in the second half of the year and being competitive in the mix. Like, we're spending all this time looking at the West standings for obvious reasons. How far off are the Sabres right now? I mean, I mean, I go, oh, look how far down they are. They're exactly 500. Exactly. I mean, that's crazy. The Jets are just out of the wild card in the West. And if you put that exact same record into the East, you're tied for last with Buffalo and Columbus.
Yeah, 32 points, right? Yeah.
Better. Leafs only 2 points better.
Yeah, as of this morning, the Sabres are 6 points back of the Boston Bruins with 6 teams in between them.
Like,
So,
that's
that's
the caveat.
That's a tough look there. How about the drama that could be set up in Pittsburgh tonight, Hus?
Dude.
Skinner versus Jarry. Mario Lemieux in the building because Sidney Crosby's 2 points away from tying Mario Lemieux's Pittsburgh Penguins points record. Leon Draisaitl goes for 1,000 points. Probably get a stoppage if he does that. Team fled onto the ice. They did for Connor's 1,000. And then you've got Jarry and Skinner going head to head. We weren't sure if we'd get it, but it is official. We will get Jarry and Skinner tonight. So a lot of regular season eyes are going to be on this Penguins Oilers game tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it.
What's the over? 6.5?
Got to be 6.5. Yeah, it's 6.5 with minus 119 on the under, minus 112 on the over.
Well, just let me quick because this is the auto bet for tonight.
The over?
No, Sidney Crosby over 1.5 points.
Yeah? To tie Mario?
Mario in the building. Leon, I'm sure, is going to get his 1,000th.
Yeah.
Plenty of. So, yeah, you do that on the road. I mean, they don't stop the game or just what happens? Everyone comes off and congratulates him. And then, like, if he gets the 1,000th point tonight, how do you think the team will react in real time?
Well, when McDavid got his 1,000th point, they flooded the ice. Everybody came out onto the ice. So I'm assuming they would do the same thing for Leon Draisaitl. I was wondering if Sidney Crosby ties or breaks Mario's record tonight, do the Penguins do the same thing? Could we have 2 teams on the ice tonight at certain times in this hockey game? I could see that happen. I think Sidney Crosby over 1.5 points, Leon Draisaitl point, and the over in the game is the play today.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't it feel like it's that type of day? You got Tristan Jarry, who the Penguins know. You've got Stuart Skinner, who the Oilers know. Who do you think that's got to favor players, right? Like, I know goalies who know tendencies of their former teammates and stuff, but don't you think it favors the players more knowing the goalie or the goalie knowing his former teammates?
I would think the players. But here's the thing. This game tonight, there's so much like psychology that goes into this. Like, I don't know much about Jarry at all. So, I mean, I just know that he was put on waivers last year after signing the big contract. So he's sort of known the situation he was in for about the last year. But Stuart Skinner, being a hometown guy, being, obviously doing what he did, playing the way he did at times, which is both on the good and the bad, but being that whipping boy, getting out of Edmonton. I mean, this would be the biggest FU opportunity for a player that has been traded you'll see in a long, long time. Like, it's one thing about going up against your former team. It's another thing doing it 4 days after you were traded, with everything else that's happening in and around. Like, it is so fresh for everyone. I mean, the funniest result of this whole thing would be Stuart Skinner to stand on his head and get a shutout in the game tonight.
Well, that's what we've been looking at. We've been throwing it out there. We always say, oh, this is the most Oilers thing ever. Somebody who used to play for them scores against them. This would be the most Oilers thing ever, to get shut out by Stuart Skinner, who you traded because you didn't think he was a good goaltender. But I think if you held a gun to my head, as I said in the morning show today, if I had to pick on Skinner stoning the Oilers tonight or the Oilers scoring 5 and chasing them, I would side with McDavid and Draisaitl in the Oilers power play, chasing Stuart Skinner tonight. If I had to pick one side, right? Like,
agreed. It's just that I'm talking the storylines and all the times we get into the lock shop the next day going, how did we not see that coming? So it would be hilarious if that went down that way. Now that Stuart Skinner is traded, do people he seemed to be such a genuinely good guy? Is there a soft spot for Skinner now that he's no longer the problem in Edmonton, according to many of the fans, or is it just good riddance, move on?
No, I think there'd be a soft spot for him, right? Because you see the way that the team defensively plays in front of him sometimes. Like, as bad as he was at moving side to side, he was hung out to dry quite a bit as well. I think a lot of the fans would have liked to have seen them have success with Stuart Skinner and finish this job over the last couple of years with Stuart Skinner. So it's tough to tell. After post-game, Skinner, even if it wasn't his fault, he would get blamed for a lot. But then you also see the fan base a lot online being like, oh, no, we love Skinner. We want to see him have success, but, he's just not a good goalie. So, I think you'll see some people, if Skinner beats the Oilers tonight, there'll be some people who be like, good for Skinner. And good for Skinner to, go have that game.
This is just a wild, and I was so excited when I heard that these teams were playing early this week after the deal. Do we like the Oilers to win this game?
Penguins have lost 5 in a row. The Oilers have been playing pretty well, but they were so loose and sloppy on Sunday against the Habs. That's a chance to, and we have their line combinations. They're going to basically run it back. They've called up this Quinn Hudson kid, who is the brother of Hudson in Montreal. They've called him up. He's had a nice start in the American Hockey League offensively. They've put him on the 4th line tonight with Curtis Lazar and Trent Frederick. So I don't know if that's really going to move the needle much. Oilers power play has been absolutely lights out so far. What is the number on the Oil on the money line tonight? I threw it into a parlay on the morning show today. I didn't even look at what so the Oilers are minus 141 is what I'm looking at right now. I think they're going to score goals on Stuart Skinner. So for that reason, I do think that I would probably take the Oilers tonight.
What about this? Sid over 1.5 points, Dry over 1.5, Connor over 1.5.
So the big boys, just all of them,
all 3 getting 2 points. We could probably get a pretty good number on that.
Yeah, let me hang. I like that better.
The top 3 guys all going over 1.5.
So let's do this. Lock shop, partner parlay. We'll get it boosted, and just the big boys on display here. McDavid over 1.5 points. Draisaitl over 1.5 points. And Sid over 1.5 points. That could hit in a 4-3 game. That doesn't even have to get too carried away.
Totally.
Okay, there we go. We'll send that one.
Over. And while we're at it, feel free to hit the over on this one. I think we're manifesting a lot of goals in this game tonight, which might not be great. What are the early returns on Jarry, by the way?
Looked fine on Saturday.
Played the Leafs game?
Played the Leafs game. Made a breakaway save on Tavares that was big. Still allowed 3 goals. But it's just so crazy watching him play the position as opposed to Skinner. Because Skinner was might have been the least mobile of the goaltenders in the entire National Hockey League in the crease. Stu is a big body. You go down. There's not a lot of side-to-side movement in his game. And Jarry was all over the place in the crease as far as he looked like he plays the position in an entirely different way. So did not stand on his head, but I thought he played pretty steady. Looking forward to seeing them run it back again. The interesting thing tonight is that I think you could classify tonight's game as kind of a pretty big game. He's with his new team. He's going into his old barn. He's taking on his old teammates. And I don't know if you saw it, but Josh Yohe, who's covered the Penguins forever, he had a tweet, I think on Friday or Saturday morning, where he said the one thing that I'm paraphrasing here, but he goes, the one thing that really surprised me about this deal is that a team that has been looking for the guy to win the big game for them went on and got Tristan Jarry, who's the worst big game goalie I've ever seen. So for Josh Yohe to say that about Tristan Jarry and then him to get what I would classify as a bit of a regular season big game tonight, I know it's really early into his stint here in Edmonton, but if he doesn't play well today and we view it as kind of a big game, yet tomorrow morning show could kind of be somewhat interesting, I think.
Well, hopefully Jarry still has a little bit of rope with Edmonton fans after being there for 4 days. We know that it won't be long if he doesn't play well, but I'm sort of with you. I think this is a great opportunity for him to come in what does feel like a big game, a big opportunity with, maybe a little bit more. And I'll say the same thing for Skinner with a bit more of a clean slate. Although I'm seeing that Skinner's already been getting blamed for their 2 losses on the weekend. So he did have that San Jose comeback was wild. The compilation of the clips of the San Jose broadcaster, his name escapes me, as they went from 5-1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, and then the OT winner was absolutely hilarious. Big fan of that. But yeah, huge slate tonight in the league. That certainly is the kind of the game that we'll all be paying attention to. And I'll tell you what, with Edmonton at minus 141, I like that number. I think that's probably going to get in on a 3-gamer tonight for me.
What say you? 780-218-9999. I do want to talk some football, but Hus, what other games do you like tonight? Just, we already put together a little parlay. You don't have to do another one, but what other games would you like if we're doing a 3-gamer?
How about Calgary? Minus 139 road favorites against the Sharks?
139 road favorites in San Jose.
That is... The Sharks didn't play last night. Has Calgary just been that good lately?
Well, Calgary has been better as of late. Let me give you their last 10 here. They're not very good on the road. They're 6-11-2 on the road, but Calgary in their last 10, well, in their last 5, they're 4-1. They got wins over Minnesota, wins over Utah, put up 7 on Buffalo, lost 4-3 to Detroit, and then did beat the Kings 2-1 in overtime. That was 3 days ago. So Calgary has had 2 days off down in California leading into this game. San Jose has won 3 of 4 with overtime wins in Pittsburgh and Toronto. Also, Hus, first game home for San Jose after a 5-game road trip. If you believe in that curse.
Yeah, I did notice that. That is, and Will Smith's on IR, as is Kurashev. But Will Smith, a big part of their offense. That being said, I still wasn't expecting the Sharks to be a significant home dog against Calgary. San Jose is impossible. Washington and Minnesota tonight. Second game of the Quinn Hughes era for the Wild. They look great on Sunday, beating Boston. Washington's been off for 2 days after a very underwhelming performance here in Winnipeg on Saturday night. Is Washington the sort of a team that can completely wash a poor performance after a couple days and come back and be better? I kind of feel like they can. I mean, they're pretty consistent. They haven't been on any big, long losing streaks. But still, Minnesota's playing great. They've got this boost at Quinn Hughes. Like, I'm seeing, what do you have for Minnesota money line?
Minnesota money line minus 118. Washington at plus 108.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but Minnesota.
That's a pretty good number on the Wild there. I mean, Washington's been pretty good too for a stretch here now, over a month.
Rangers stunk last night at home to the Ducks. They've got Vancouver in here. I know it's back-to-back, but to me, the Rangers feel like you can't go back-to-back losing to the Ducks and Canucks on home ice. Although I guess they've been so bad at home this year. Like, Rangers. Habs are at home to Philly, the minus 125 favorite.
Don't hate the Red Wings
Islanders-
at minus 130. You like the Islanders in that one?
Well, no, I'm just I'm
Yeah.
intrigued about that game. The Islanders are that team that you never really pay attention to. And then you realize, oh, they've won 6 of their last 7. And they've beaten good teams. Come on. The Lightning, Ducks, Golden Knights lost to the Panthers, beat the Lightning, beat the Avalanche, beat the Lightning. And they are right now in a playoff spot. They're second place, 3 points back of Carolina. Wings second place or tied for first with Tampa.
Yeah, the Islanders have been on a bit of a roll, hey?
And the Islanders have had they're 9-5-1 away from the rank. It's wild that their goal differential is only +7. But they're 4 games above 500 at home, 4 up on the Ray. Something about I always think we go to these games, but there is going to be an upset or two tonight. That much we know.
There always is, right?
Boston's home after their road trip. They've got Utah. I guess I'm looking at a bounce back game from the Rangers. I do like the Wild at that minus 119 number. Something about the Sharks. This is just weird that they are as big of a home underdog as they are against Calgary, with it being Calgary. I'm going to be going on those point props for the Edmonton ones. I mean, I like the Oilers too. I mean, a Rangers Oilers Wild parlay is like around plus 470 ish. You can get that to
Would be something we could put together. Yep.
Get to 5-1 at least. There's the potential for like a 7 or 8 legger tonight. And I know some of you sickos in the lock shop and in the nasty chat are going to be doing exactly that. If you ran the table, I don't normally do that, but if you put the Bruins on there and
it's just going to get crazy.
Back,
hey, we have our number on the lock shop partner parlay here, Hus. McDavid over 1.5 points, Draisaitl over 1.5 points, Crosby over 1.5 points. It's plus 893 after the boost. So a little sprinkling probably required there as well. Northside Sandwich over in the chat says Hyman power play point is plus 325 on Play Alberta as well. Not a bad sprinkle there. He does some damage on the power play. It's Monday Nighter. What'd you think last night? Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers pick up a very important dub. They play the Lions this week. That's a big game for both teams. What did you think of the Steelers last night?
Listen, if we're talking NFL, can we talk about the real story in the league? Patrick Mahomes, a day after tearing his ACL, has surgery. That's the fastest.
It's a quick turnaround right there.
Gotten under the knife. That's the heart of a champion. Staring down opening day of next year right away. I was blown away when I heard that. And you know what? I'm already excited for next season. He will be back. Listen, great win for the Steelers. Afterwards, I just wrote off a disaster week. But I said to my buddy, I said, you know what? Hey, he, we've got a pick'em pool, and he was all alone in first. He had a 1-game lead. All he had to do was pick the game right. And I said, well, listen, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm on Miami from the show. So we maybe should take out a second mortgage and put it on the Steelers right now. And, Tua in the cold. I heard they were talking about him on SportsCenter afterwards. If they were to move on from him after this year, $100 million dead cap hit next year.
Ooh,
$100 million. It's almost impossible,
really,
for them to do it.
Yeah, my God,
I know. So listen, the Dolphins had a nice few games and got back into the mix. They didn't quit on Mike McDaniel. Credit to them, but Pittsburgh got the job done. Aaron Rodgers looked good from what I saw. I mean, I was at the hockey game. I kind of saw.
No, I watched a good chunk of the second half. I thought he looked pretty good, buddy.
I was following his numbers, and I mean, he was really accurate. He ran for one. And like, I know it's fun to sort of hate on Rodgers for some of the stuff that he's pulled over the last few years, but the guy is an all-time great. And I'm here for it. It's so funny because people have been saying all year, this Pittsburgh Steelers team, they're terrible. You know, a lot of their former strengths, like stopping the run and stuff, have not been strengths this year. Their offense isn't really that dynamic. I mean, their best skill position players are DK Metcalf, Jalen Warren. I mean, that does not stand out amongst most teams in the NFL. And yet, like clockwork, Mike Tomlin has them ready for another winning record and to win the winning record and to win the division. I mean, they're 8-6. They got a game on the Ravens. And it does sort of feel like it's going to come down to that final week of the season because they go to Detroit, which is not going to be easy. And then they go to Cleveland. So even if they can get one of those wins, I think they're still going to need that last game unless the Ravens slip up and Baltimore has they're playing the Patriots next week. Patriots needing that win for all sorts of for their division, for the 1 seed. Then they go to Green Bay. Now, obviously, the Micah Parsons injury hampers things a little bit, but Green Bay is still pretty solid squad. And then that last game. So I know the NFL is hoping that becomes a win the division game. I'm not sure whether the Ravens, because the Ravens lost to the Steelers at home, the tiebreaker would be divisional record first. Well, Steelers are 3-1 in the division. The Ravens are 3-2 in the division. So I guess if the Steelers lost to Cleveland, they've got a better conference record at 7-3 to Baltimore's 5-5. So I don't know. I'm here for Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers getting one more shot in the playoffs. You got to think that they're done. And then, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with them moving forward.
Hey, before we let you get over to WST here, Hus, Brady Oliveira, 3-year extension to stay with the Bombers, $290
What did you
and
think about that?
$300 and $300. Well, I know salaries are going to be going up, right, as the cap goes up. I think if the cap hadn't been going up, I would have been a little stunned at the number. But Brady Oliveira is a dangerous dual threat as a runner, and I think they could probably use him more running the ball. And then obviously he catches it very well out of the backfield, right? So that's a big keep. That's a big keep with this contract extending past likely the career of Zach Collaros. You still have like a staple in the offense that you can build around for the next 3 years, which I mean, Brady Oliveira should be the focal point of the offense already. But if they lose Zach and have to go to a younger quarterback or bring in another journeyman or something like that, to have Brady to rely on for the next 3 years and being a local guy, I mean, it made too much sense to not to let him, like, you can't let him go. You had to keep him, and he got paid. So I think it's a good deal for both sides, got to say.
I listen, he had said that he was likely going to go to free agency and see what was out there. I think the Bombers realized his importance to their football team on the field, to the organization off the field. The optics of having your hometown guy that won the MOP a couple years ago leaving because someone would pay him more than the team that sells out every game, I think would have been brutal. And to the Bombers' credit, they made an aggressive offer to Brady for him to forego talking to other teams around the league and commit to Winnipeg, and not just for a year, but for 3 years. And I get why the Oliveira camp sat there and looked at this and goes, well, this is probably at or what I was going to hope in the best case scenario that I would get. I'm on a good team. I've got a legacy in this city. I want to be the starter on a Grey Cup champion team. Like, let's stick around. So yeah, to me, it was a win-win for both sides. I don't think the number for a player as good as Brady is going to be. I mean, we've talked about a lot of these receivers. I mean, getting that sort of money. Yep. You're talking about a Canadian running back that's won the MOP. Like, he's not worth that. I disagree. So, yeah, Brady for another 3. Great news for Winnipeg. We'll be talking about it coming up on the show today.
What else you got locked in today?
Well, I mean, more on the Jets. I mean, kind of recapping this homestand, looking ahead to these final 3 games before Christmas. They were practicing today before they hit the road for St. Louis. So we'll have some from that. And my pal, our old buddy Sakaris, is going to come on.
Okay. Lots to talk about in Vancouver, I think.
Well, big time. I mean, I'm really interested as to how their notoriously insane fan base is dealing with the Hughes trade, how they felt the Canucks did, and what the rest of this season looks like for Vancouver. Probably not a playoff participant, and potentially, I mean, right now they're the worst team in the NHL, which actually has a big benefit this year when you think about what's going to be happening at the end of June with the NHL draft.
All right, that's going to do it for the Lock Shop. Hus, we'll let you slide away. Winnipeg Sports Talk coming up in about 8 minutes over on the WST channel. We'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
Good luck, everyone. Enjoy the Hawks tonight.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on with the Oilers and Penguins tonight. That should be good. So we've got a few plays up waiting for you. The grandest of parlays will be coming from the DGen Den as well. Jay, I know Jay, I'm seeing the chat right now with the Play Alberta team. Jay's working on his play of the day there as well. Here's what we got for you on the EST specials page. If you go to playalberta.ca, you'll see the casino. If you want to dabble in the casino, we do have a code for you. EST Casino, deposit 50, get $50 to play with in the casino. I think I still have a casino bonus sitting in my account that I'm going to have to dive into at some point. They've got the live dealer, they got the lottery, they got the instants, and of course, there's a link to GameSense, and GameSense is a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk as well. And it's important to not get carried away. It's important to have a budget when you are gambling. If you have some of that budget that you'd like to sprinkle on a few things today, the early bird bet. Edmonton Oilers money line, McDavid assist, Draisaitl goal. Pretty simple, pretty game sensey. Plus 300 if you want to roll on that one. There's Hernandez, a cool dude. And then the Lock Shop partner parlay, McDavid over 1.5 points, Draisaitl over 1.5 points, Sid the Kid, that's Mr. Crosby, over 1.5 points. That's at plus 893 if you think the big boys put things on display against their former netminders tonight in Pittsburgh, as Stuart Skinner will start for the Pittsburgh Penguins and Tristan Jarry will start for the Edmonton Oilers. Can you imagine say that a week ago? Nobody would have believed you. They said you were crazy. Here's what the Oilers are going to roll out. We're going to dive into this more on 2 guys and a goalie today with myself and Cass and Gager. McDavid between Hyman and the Nuge. Draisaitl between Savoy and Podkolzin. Henrique stays with Mangiapane, and a guy who has scored 3 goals in the last season and a half, Matthias Janmark. And then Hudson, who was just called up, 16 goals in 24 games in the American Hockey League. He gets to play with Curtis Lazar and Trent Frederick on the 4th line. Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Regula, Stastny and Emerson, and Tristan Jarry will start in his old stomping ground. So we are going to dive into that on 2 guys and a goalie, which is brought to you by GS Construction. And watch EST Specials page. If you haven't used our code yet, EST Sports, deposit 50, get $50 free bet in the month of December here over at Play Alberta. So take advantage of that. And if you want to sprinkle anything we got over there, we'll have Jay's play of the day still to come, and the DGen Dens, the grandest of parlays, still to come as well. Those both will pop up on the EST Specials page. Looking forward to 2 guys in the goalie. Lots to discuss with Cass and Gager. We'll get you set for this game. I want to know, from a Gager's perspective, is it a bigger advantage for the goalie going against his former teammates, or for the former teammates going against the goalie? We'll get into that a little bit on 2 guys and a goalie, which is on the way. That'll do it for the Lock Shop today. Thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck if you're riding with us tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow.